Welcome to today's video review for Thursday, July the 16th, 2015 for Drum and Energy Bands. Please read our trading disclaimer. How many times have you purchased a trading course or software and got it out of the box, so to speak, to only find that it was confusing and frustrating and difficult to trade the way it was supposed to be traded? In other words, to generate profits. I've been there. I know several times before in the past. I want to walk through today as if you're someone that's never used our software before and has experienced tremendous doubt in the software and courses that vendors are offering these days. I want to take this time to prove to you that we really can help with our software. Please take a few minutes, keep an open mind, and let's go through this process together. Thank you. First of all, we here at Drum and Energy Bands are not going to tell you that you have to trade a certain way. There's a fine line there that many trading courses leave the entire process up to the individual. We're not saying that. We're saying that we're going to provide a trade plan for you, but it's up to you to decide what trade plan you would like to use. So for today, I'm going to pick a trade plan and I'm going to show you what I would use using that trade plan for setups. The tool I'll be using is visual energy analysis using the Drum and Energy Bands in a very simple way. So first of all, I'm going to be discussing the trade plan I'm choosing, but first and foremost, I'm just going to say that I'm going to be buying and selling. I don't know what to do. I'm fighting strength. I don't know what strength looks like, so I'm new. That's the way I'm approaching this. And the other thing is I'm only trading setups from the right chart, which is my trade chart, when there's weak dots. And we're going to discuss what weak dots look like, and then we're going to discuss the trade plan. So for example, we're going to look at what are weak dots. So in this example, we're looking at these energy bands, this upper and lower magenta energy bands pointing up. So we're considering as these blue dots move above this solid white line here, when the dots get above, like here and here, those are strong dots, and that's strong energy above that solid white midline. Okay. Then as we continue to push up here, you notice how the dot comes back, dots are coming back to the solid white line, and they're falling below the white solid line. That's an indication of weak dots. Anytime the dot is blue, it's because it's above the lower energy band. When it's magenta, it's falling back because it's weak. But when the dots actually cross back to the solid white midline and get below, that means the push up is very weak. So that's the condition we're looking for. When we get a red bar like the close right here with weak dots, if we have a condition that meets our trade plan, the weak dots are going to be what cause us to take action. And also, as you can see, as these red dots are pushing down, price is going down, these dots stop at our solid white line, our midline, and that's an indication that the energy is pushing down in a very weak manner. And as you've been following along with us a while, this is called brick momentum, when the brick lows go equal or higher. Just like up here, as price went higher, you can see the tops of the bricks going flat. They're going equal or lower. That's brick momentum. That's telling us our upper yellow here is becoming strong resistance, just like down here our lower yellow was becoming strong support. So those are the conditions for weak that we're going to be using. Let's look at the trade plan. Okay, so for a trade plan, we're going to keep it really simple. We're going to use our left chart, and on the left chart we have some dashed lines that we'll point out in a second, but essentially we're going to be looking for trades on certain levels that are known in advance. So we'll be using the upper and lower magenta energy bands for the potential leans of support and resistance. And we'll also be looking at the mid-white line, which is also a known in advance area of support or resistance. The midline is what pushes the energy of the crowd. This is the crowd energy. We're going to leave off the crests and valleys because the crests and valleys can offer up even more opportunities, and we're going to keep it very simple because our trader is just starting out. So on the left chart, you'll notice the down magenta arrow. We're looking at this dashed line here. This is our upper energy band that we're going to be looking at a potential lean with. You'll see we're starting at 930, and you'll notice that the dots are becoming weak. And we're doing so as we go up into this magenta line from the left chart drawn here on the right chart. So as we go weak and we get a red bar right here, we're short, and we only stay short until the bars change color, because our trader is learning that he is not giving anything back. So it's a very small trade and a small win on that trade. Now as we go down on the left chart, you're going to notice a white dotted line. That's our midline. That's also one of our leans. It's right here and it's right here. Plus we also have our magenta lower energy band right here. This is about 935. We've drawn that level on our right chart here. Now you'll notice that the dots are way below our solid white midline. So this is strong energy, and this trader is not interested in taking trades under that condition. But as we start to press down again, notice these dots are weak, and on this green bar we elect to get long, and our trader gets out on the first red bar. So a very small win, and this trader had no idea what all these lines up here would be doing with the market. Had no idea, so he or she just exited. Now again, as price comes down, you can see the dots, they dip below the solid white line. The market's starting to show some weakness. Again, the dots start to stay above the white line. So it's in this area in here where the dots are very weak with a green bar. Our trader gets long, and that trader knows that this white line down here is actually very strong energy, and under the condition of a weak dot that we're seeing surface on our trade chart, the right chart, we would want to stay long and manage our stop with this white line in mind. We would have our stop down below there. Now our trader is again very nervous, gets out right here on the first red bar. A very small win again. And as the trader gets used to trading with the software, the lower yellow is taught in the Masters of the Universe course to provide an excellent place to trail stops. As we go higher, you can see on the left chart this upper energy band drawn there is drawn here on the right chart. Price goes up into it, but you'll notice the dots are very strong, so the trader's not looking at taking a short with a red bar. And price continues a lot higher, and you can see that the dots stay extremely strong, so there's no trade being set up for the trader under those conditions. As price pulls back down to this white dotted line here that is known in advance, you'll notice that it's drawn here on our right chart with this horizontal white line. And below, this is our lower energy band from the left chart that is drawn here. Those two levels are key for our trader because that's part of his or her trade plan. Once the dots have gotten weak, you notice the push down. These dots are very strong. They're below the solid white line. pulls back, push down, weak, weak. Either one area here would be a good place to get long. This bar here is a green bar. Our trader would elect to get long. As price moves up, there is a crest up here, but our trader doesn't know anything about crests. So essentially, once he's taken a couple of trades, he starts to see this lower yellow starts to hold price. So he stays in until up here where he gets his first red bar and price comes down back into the yellow. He exits here. So a little bit more on this particular trade. Our trader does recognize though that this white line is having an effect on price and pushing up. And then also realizes that this solid midline drawn over here on the right chart, this dotted line, is actually having an effect on price as well. And the horizontal white line on the right chart drawn here, this is our white line on the left chart. This is part of our trade plan. Price comes within a couple of ticks of hitting there. So our trader decides that on this green bar, he takes a long, gets out here, or maybe even holds it as it comes back. He's starting to get a feel for the white dotted lines that push price into strong trends. The brick lows show brick momentum as the brick lows are lower to higher and makes the lower yellow up and stays in for this trade for a little bit longer. You'll notice on the red bars here, he stays in on the pullback and eventually decides to get out as it comes back into the yellow here. Now, as price goes higher, the reason he got out was because you'll see that as price came into the upper energy band, he was potentially considering taking a short. This is drawn here on the right chart. He wouldn't take the short because this is strong coming up into a level. But as we pushed up even further, the dots start to go weak, and he exited his position because of that. And if he wasn't in a long, he may have taken a short, but it didn't go very far if he did, knowing that there was an energy mid right here for what we call in the Masters of the Universe course a power mid setup. He doesn't know that, so he would have just exited his position. By now, the trader looks at the charts and says there are a lot of opportunities that one can take once the trader understands this white dotted line concept, how price gets pushed from the center of these bands. The energy bands contain price under most conditions and provides the trader an opportunity to stay with the trend or to actually fade the trend. If you're interested in learning more, send us an email at jb@drummondenergybands.com. Thank you very much for listening.